Very good morning, girls. So in previous session, we were discussing about Two Deer by Count Leo Tolstoy. So we'll continue with that. So we have already seen about the author. So only few highlighted points. Count Leo Tolstoy is a Russian writer, and he was being called as a master of realistic fiction. And he is widely considered as one of the world's greatest novelists. And his two best long novels were War and Peace and Anna Karenina. So these points we have seen. And here a few important points. His works have been praised as pieces of life, not pieces of art. He was prominent social reformer. He reflects on the well-being of mankind. Tolstoy is equally known for his complicated and paradoxical. So these points we have already discussed. And later we will discuss about what does the title indicate to here. And I think we are from this question. In today's session, we are going to discuss about this question. So, what do you think would happen if, due to procedural lapses or delay by the court, were to convert the verdict of death sentence into life imprisonment? So, I'll make the question in a very easy way, girls. See, let us imagine that one of a known person is being put for death sentence. So, within 1 week or 2 days, that person will be dead. So, what will be your state of mind? So, what do you feel? How do we react for it? Yes, guys, let me unmute your mics so that you can give up your answer. Okay, now my question. So you're very sad because that person is put for death. Okay, so now it's being changed for from life in death sentence to life imprisonment. The death sentence is being changed to life imprisonment. So how do you feel? So or what will be your state of mind? Do obviously we feel everyone feels happy, but there is something which comes to your mind. Okay, there a question arises in your mind. So what is that question? So we should know, the question arises in a mind does that which why the death sentence is being changed into life imprisonment. First, we feel very happy that the death sentence is being changed to life imprisonment. But the second thing, the question which arises in our mind, why? What is the reason they have changed the death sentence into life imprisonment? So you can come up with your answers, girls. So why have you come across any situation, something like that, which has been death sentence, which has been changed to life imprisonment? Any situations which have come across? So have you seen? You can just tell me. Or the reason. No strong witness or witness was false. Failure of the government or failure of the king or the administrators. So the question we was discussing that which will arise in a mind was why and what is the reason. So might be there will no strong witness or witness was a false or failure of the government or failure of the king or the administrators. Yes. We'll move to, so this is what exactly you find in your textbook, girls. So those who have the textbook can just go through your textbook, and those who don't have a textbook can find it on the screen. Can someone read it, girls? Near the borders of France and Italy. Yes, thank you, ma. That was a wonderful reading. So we're talking about the Monaco Kingdom, which is in which is called as a kingdom, the Monaco Kingdom. So Monaco is an independent city, or which is also called as a microstate, girls, and it is a country located in the Western Europe. It is in the country which is being located in the Western European. So we can see that in 2019, the population was 38,964. The population of Monaco was 38,064. Before that, you can find the tiny little kingdom of Monaco here, girls. So this is a tiny little kingdom of Monaco. Yes. So here we see that Two Deer. This was a final short story which was being written by Count Leo Tolstoy. So in this chapter, we see that the author, Count Leo Tolstoy, he ridicules the way that the decisions which are being made by the king and the administrators. And also the author tries to explain that how the criminals are let go freely without being punished severely. So in this chapter we'll come across a criminal, so without punishing him, how the criminals are being let go, okay, without punishing. So that we are going to see in this chapter, and we are going to talk we are going to discuss about a criminal and the decisions which were being made by the kings and the administrators. So when we are just discussing about the author, I have told that his works are very complicated and very paradoxical, so it is not so easy to understand the message what he's trying to tell for us. So here the author wants even a prisoner to be treated in a human way, and even he wants a chance should be given even for the criminals to change in their life. So here in two ways, in two different ways, the author has given the message. So even one thing is that he has criticized about the administrators and the kings in the way they were treating the criminal. That was the first. And the second thing here, we see that many governments, okay, many governments, they treat the criminals in a very hard, in a very cruel way, by killing them by current shock, by tying the stone to neck. Okay, in many different ways we see that many governments they treat the criminals. So here the author tells that even criminals are human beings, and the poet wants to convey this message in this chapter in a very humorous way. So here we have seen about the kingdom of Monaco. We're talking about the kingdom of Monaco. So here I have already shown you the picture, the little kingdom of Monaco. So Monaco is an independent kingdom. Okay, it was a independent city, or we can also call it as a state. So it is in the Western Europe. So why it is being called as tiny kingdom? Because there we can find only 7,000 of inhabitants. So what is the population? You can just see that only 7,000 of people were living there. So in 2019, when the survey was being taken, the population was 38,964. So in this first paragraph, we come across in the kingdom of Monaco, it consists of 60 men, only 60 men, or that 60 men also are being called as soldiers. So here we see that the king used to collect taxes. So here in the next paragraph which you have already read, here we have seen that the king, okay, he collect the taxes on the things such as tobacco, wine, spirits, and poll tax. So you can underline this point, girls. So here you can find there are also taxes in this kingdom as elsewhere, a tax on tobacco, underline, and on wine and spirits, and a poll tax. So here the author collects, the king collects the taxes on various things. So first one was the tobacco, the second was the wine, the spirit, and the poll tax. So there are four things on which he collects the tax, which you have already seen. So you know what is the meaning of tobacco, right? And he also collects on wine and spirits and even poll tax. So my question, what is poll tax, girls? So I think in meanings I could have given you all. Yes, girls. So here, what is poll tax? It means that a tax which is being laid on every adult without reference to their income or resources. So the meaning for you can take down in your textbook: a tax laid on every adult without reference to their income or resources. So let me put it in a very easy way, like regardless of how much a person earns, okay, everyone has to pay the same amount of the tax, girls. For example, see, if the first person earns 1,000 rupees and the second person earns 2,000 rupees, both has to pay the same amount of the tax, so which is being laid by the kingdom of the Monaco. So we have seen the four important things. So he collects about the kingdom of the Monaco and about the king, and also on various different things he collect the tax. The first one was tobacco, followed by wine and spirit and poll tax. So later we have seen that we see that this kingdom has very few subjects like tax. They collect on things like tobacco, wine and spirits, and poll tax. This was not sufficient for the king. So what did he do? I mean that the revenue drawn from these things was not very sufficient to feed his courtiers and officials for the king. Okay, this amount which he was collecting the tax was not sufficient for him. So what did he do? So king found something very new and special revenue, or special source of revenue. So, and that special source of revenue, it came for him from the gaming houses. So from where did he collect, he got the special revenue? He got from the gaming house. So the people played roulette, which was generating a lot of income for the king here. So here we see that the people were playing the game called as roulette in the gaming house. So what is gaming house, girls? It is like a public building where gambling games are played, or which is also being called as a casino, girls. So gaming house is nothing but it was a public building where gambling games are being played there, and it is also being called as a casino. So what is roulette, girls? So here you can see the game which is being called as a roulette. So different pictures are there. So here you can find the gambling house where they play the roulette here. So here you can find the wheel here, and here you can find the ball, girls. See, it's a game of chance. It's a game of chance in which, see here you can find a small ball is being dropped on this wheel, girls, onto this wheel, so that this will be spinning there, and the players guess in which the number or hole it will finally stop. So they will guess a number here. So here you can find. So they should guess a number, that where should this ball stop. And after guessing, so if the number guessed by the players is correct, they will win, or not they will lose it. So this is what called as a roulette. So which is being played in the gaming house, where the king was getting a special revenue from this roulette game. So did you understood, girls, what is the roulette? So the king was getting a lot of income by this gaming house, okay, from as especially from this roulette. So we're discussing about roulette game now. We see that the prince or the king of Monaco, though the prince of Monaco know that, okay, later we have seen that the house did much harm for the people, he didn't want to stop it. The reason is that because he was getting a special revenue from it, he was not bothered about the people's life. For example, here we have seen that a man will come and play the roulette. Sometimes he will win and sometimes he will lose it. So for second time he tries, and for third time again he tries, and he gives all the property he has, so that in a wish that he thinks that he will win for the next time. You will have that confidence, at least for this next time, for the second time or the third time or fourth time he will win, so he will lose all the property. But finally what will happen, he will lose everything. So what does he do in that despair? What does he do? He just destroys himself, or he shoot himself. By seeing all these evil aspects of the people, what did the German servants do? They have stopped it. Okay, they didn't allow the people to play in the German, or they completely banned the game. But there was none to stop the king of the Monaco. So the last point is important, girls. See that he remained with the monopoly of business. So here you can see he remained with the monopoly of business. Who remained? The king of the Monaco, the prince of the Monaco. Here we see that though the king knew that because of gaming house, the king gaming house or roulette game, the people lose their lives, but still he was least bothered about the people. He was not, okay, he was only interested only in the revenue or the income. He wanted only the profit. He was much interested in his own life. By this clearly we can come to a conclusion that the king of Monaco was a selfish person. He wanted to draw the revenue from all evil sources, like which is called as gambling houses. He was collecting taxes on tobacco, the wine, and the spirit. So these all things represents the negative aspects of the life, the negative sides of the life. So but still he didn't ban the game in Europe. Okay, the reason is that he was getting a special revenue from that. So in Europe, Monaco was the only place that has a gaming house. So that was about this paragraph. We'll move to the next. Can someone read this? Yes, girls. So here we see that though the Prince of Monaco, okay, he knows that roulette is a dirty business. He doesn't want to stop it. It is here. It is very noticeable for us that the most important thing to the king was only the money. He was not least bothered about the people. He was only bothered about the money. See, the king lived the life he would like to, and here we see that he's much interested in all his ceremonies. So that is why here we can see the proverb which says that you can't earn stone palaces by honest labor. So here the statement which is being made by the author, it quotes that if the king lives honest, he cannot fetch or he cannot gain any money from for his luxuries. He can't get the money. So it also implies that one has to take recourse to earn extra money. So that is what he's just getting the extra money. So by some in a very dishonest way or in an unethical means. So here we see that king has to follow in some dishonest way to get this special revenue, to get this money. So if a king is honest, he can't build stone palaces. So he is in dishonest and following unethical way to feed himself and also his coaches and also his officials. So the final statement here we can say is that so he lives and reigns. So this statement, the final line, so he lives and reigns and rakes in the money and holds his court with all the ceremony of a real king. So the meaning for rakes you can find. I'm not given. So this is a picture of rake, girls. It means this is a picture of the rakes. It means that draw together with a rake or similar implement. So drawing together, grabbing everything together. So even the king grabs together the money. He's just grabbing that money together. That is what here it means. Yes. So in this paragraph, which you have already read, here we see that coronation. So I have already told the meaning for coronation, ceremony of crowing or a crowning prince. Leaves meaning an official reception of guests or visitors in the morning. So we see that king was more interested in leading a very luxurious life, and also he was more concerned with all his financial gains, and he was very much less concerned with his duties. So as a prince, what are his duties? He was very less concerned about his duties. See, sometimes he punishes and sometimes he himself forgives. So that we are going to see in the upcoming paragraphs. So once something has happened there in the kingdom of Monaco. So what is that we are going to see in the next paragraph? Is because we're running shortage of time.